Hello and welcome to Out Motorsports. My name is Tyler and today we are driving the 2021 Jaguar XF. Jaguar Land Rover was nice enough to invite us out to their headquarters in North Jersey to get a first look at this refreshed XF, the refreshed F-Pace, and the Defender 90, which we have coming as a press loan later this year. So starting off, this is the P300 R-Dynamic all-wheel drive version of the Jaguar XF. It has a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that makes 295 horsepower and the same amount of torque. All of that is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The other major refresh that happened with this 2021 model year XF is the exterior as well as the interior that we'll get to later. As you can see, that new side vent right there was actually designed after a chef's knife, which was a cool little tidbit they talked about in the press briefing. You also have refreshed wheels with nice big brakes behind them with a nice bright red caliper. Moving on to the front fascia is something that is also completely redesigned with this refreshed model. The headlights are new with some new LED running lights, and the complete front bumper is new. As you can see, that the driver's side vent isn't really functional, but everything else up here does seem to be functional. If I zoom in here to our passenger side, you can see that this side appears to be cooling the intercooler, and you also have that pass through to your left right there that is made for aerodynamics, and that is also a thing on the driver's side. Moving on to the interior, that's where they made a ton of changes on this new 2021 model year XF. First off, the door panels are completely recovered, all covered in leather. This is open pore wood, is what they call it. The Meridian sound system has your typical very nice aluminum speaker grills. Moving down to the door switches and the handles, they feel very, very solid, no creaks or rattles. And again, this leather extends all the way through to the door panel with soft touch materials, even on something right here. They are much softer and less hard of plastics. The steering wheel is another upgraded and new design. They've redesigned the steering wheel. They have redesigned the seats. It has the new embossed Leaving Jaguar logo on the headrest. You see, you can move down here and see new patterns on these seats as well. Moving on to the center console and the dashboard area. This is another place that they have made very big changes, including with the infotainment. The only thing that you might recognize, according to Jaguar, is the glove box. Everything else has been recovered, redesigned. You have all of this leather material and open pore wood that continues on to the dashboard and through with the trim, all the way up on the top of the dashboard, and all the way down here along the bottom as well. You'll notice I just passed the new Pivi infotainment system. This infotainment system was first introduced on the Land Rover Defender. It is a 11.4-inch display, and it's a curved display as well that I'm not quite sure if you can see, considering this is already a fisheye lens, but it is a slightly curved display. Moving down into the center console, you have your climate control displays right here. These climate controls knobs are much better, in my opinion, than the I-Pace that I was in back in December. They're more responsive, they feel a little bit better, and they're quicker to use and don't need as long of a boot up time compared to the I-Pace. You also get wireless charging now, which I've been using all day. Moving down, we got rid of the rotary shifter and went to this more toggle style shifter. So how does this new XF handle and drive? We're gonna throw this through a twisty road and we'll see how she feels. So first off, the throttle response feels very good. There's a little bit of lag in the motor, but it's not a crazy amount of turbo lag, and once it spools up, it's essentially non-existent. First thing I notice is the turn-in. The steering rack feels very quick. The turn-in is very sharp. The torque is super strong coming out of these corners. The brakes they have a light pedal, but they're very confidence-inspiring. The shifts in this 8-speed transmission coming out of the corners, the harder you get on the gas, the more aggressive it shifts. One thing that leaves a little bit to be desired are the downshifts. It still feels like your typical torque converted automatic downshift. But the way that it leans into a corner and the balance that you feel mid-corner, right here, you feel the whole car just neutral itself out mid-corner. To be honest, there isn't a ton of feel. It is a little bit numb for your electric steering rack. It doesn't communicate as well as some other electric steering racks do. However, it's very responsive, and that makes up for it. You're still able to place the car very accurately, and the turn-in is really amazing. You just trail brake into the corner a little bit, and it dives right in. See, right here, there is so much neutrality to the chassis right there. This is a great road, not gonna lie. Yeah, the turn-in for me is the standout feature. Going through that little switchback section right there, it just took the tiniest bit of steering input to get that to waft through there essentially effortlessly. Your steering input is very, very little. The suspension seems pretty well damped. It's a little bit on the softer side, but for the most part, it's a one and done movement. When you hit a bump, it doesn't really wallow around much, and it's still very confidence inspiring mid-corner. But overall, first impressions of this refreshed XF are very positive. They have refreshed any complaints that journalists and owners seem to have in the previous model, and they've made the driving dynamics even better. I'd argue that they're some of the best driving dynamics in the class. So thank you, Jaguar Land Rover, for having us out. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Check us out at outmotorsports.com and on Facebook and Instagram at Out Motorsports. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.